I'm waiting for everyone to come. I can see you coming to our podcast. Welcome back to our podcast, Courageous Leadership with Virginia Prodan. I'm the host, Virginia Prodan. I hope that you will continue to send us your question, your comments, and what you need. What kind of help do you need? We're here to help you. For those of you who are here maybe for the first time, I'm Virginia Prodan, the host of Courageous Leadership with Virginia Prodan. And I'm an international human rights attorney, a keynote speaker, an author of memoirs Saving My Assassin, published by Tyndale House Publisher. Uh, um, Courageous leadership coach and a mother, a grandmother, and I'm here to encourage you, to teach you, equip you, and train you to live a life of significance and success, because that is possible in the power of Jesus Christ. He used me for his glory in communist Romania, and used me to defend Christian and human rights cases, and is using me here now in America. I live in Dallas, Texas, as an ally attorney with Alliance Defender Freedom, the podcast speaker, writer, to defend freedom in America and to expose the government, the former government, Biden government, who did everything that was possible to mismanage the government. But I will call more than mismanagement. I will call purposefully mismanage America, because they wanted to destroy the wealth of America, or your wealth. They wanted you to depend on the government and to build socialists and communists in America. It was not because they were stupid. It was that because they were focused on destroying America, focused on forcing you to submit to their power. And we are so glad that American people, excuse me, were able to see what the former administration, the Biden administration, was doing. And on November 5th at election, they spoke loudly and powerfully, and they re-elected President Donald Trump, who loves America, who loves capitalism, and who loves you as a person to prosper and for America to prosper. So we have now powerful leaders and leadership in America and for America. Today, I want to talk about how important it is to have good leaders, powerful leaders that will have in mind America and American good standing in the world, and prosperity, and your prosperity too. I will talk about our new United States Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. As you know, Marco Rubio, his family came from Cuba. From a young age, Marco Rubio heard from his father about life in Cuba under socialists and communists. Many times in his speeches, it's so beautiful how he explained that God helped him from poor immigrant as his father, who did all kind of work to help his family. He graduated, he learned English, he graduated from wonderful schools. He represented Florida, and now he is our new United States Secretary of State. And he brings with him a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding of difference and a danger of managing or mismanaging the state in or the uh, political the views and politicals um, policies that will diminish Americans' freedom and Americans' capitalism and will guide to socialism as the Biden administration has done. Um, he wants to advance Americans' nation interest. He defines that as anything that makes us stronger or safer or more prosperous. And again, yes, it is based on knowing, not just dreaming. As some students in college, brainwashed by their professor, will dream about the beauty of socialism. Now, socialism is a land of lies and a prison land that I describe it in my memoir, Saving My Assassin. Again, you can buy the book at Virginia Prodan books.com and learn more about this. Rubio thinks about making some changes that will need in our policy and politics, because we need to be 21st century agency as Department of State that can move at the speed of relevance, because the world is changing, he says, and faster than we ever had before. And we have to think about where we are going, not today, but in 5 years, 7, 10 years, 15 years from now. Rubio outlined a few of these changes, setting forth the priority and mission of the second administration's Department of State of Donald Trump. Number one is securing American borders. Marco Rubio said, and it's very important, that we must curb mass migration and secure our borders. The State Department will not longer undertake any activities that facilitate and encourage mass migration. However, secure the border or stopping illegal immigrants is a top concern of the Trump administration, and it is the national interest to use every relevant tool to fix the problem, including diplomacy. I believe that is very, very important. President Trump convinced Latin American countries to cooperate on border enforcement in his previous administration, and he appears ready to do it again. In fact, given this top priority for American diplomacy, Trump selected Marco Rubio as Secretary of State, particularly suited to the task. As a Florida politician and Cuban American, Rubio's foreign policy is focused on Latin America and has been focused on Latin America, giving him an uncommon level of knowledge and expertise about the region. In fact, he will make next week his first foreign trip to Latin American country, visiting Panama, Guatemala, El Salvador, Costa Rica, and Dominican Republic. Number two point in his policy is replacing DEI with meritocracy. He underlined in his second priority as a Secretary of State is to reward performance and merit, including within United States Department of State's rank. It is very important because in the last 4 years, the State Department launched in itself under Biden administration's whole of government approaching the institutionalization of DEI practice through the federal government. Internal documents from 2022 show that Department of State employees were required to practice DEI principle as a condition of career advancement. The middle level Foreign Service officers were expected to advance DEA um, through their words and action, while senior level diplomats were expected to mentor others in DEI principles. In November 22, the Department of State held under Biden administration a 10 days DEI challenge for employee featuring lectures, reading, films, and even Jeopardy games. The State Department, lastly, tasked their IT department with developing code to include preferred pronouns in every employee's email as an assignment. And in February 2024, Secretary of State under Biden administration, Anthony Blinken, distributed a document to personnel on gender identity-based practice, which warned them not to misgender or use gendered language. At best, this exercise was destructive for the department, and it hurt relationship between international crisis and focuses on international crisis in Afghanistan, Ukraine, East Asia, or Middle East. They will focusing more on those than real crisis. To fully to fulfill our new mission, the State Department under new administration is ending any practice or practices or system, guideline, standard, or other measure that prioritize any criteria for selected training or evaluating or promoting our people based on what performance and merit, upholding strict meritocracy as being essential to securing our national future. So, whatever the Biden administration did to destroy our system of promoters is eliminated, or it will be eliminated. Number 3 is another elimination, and that is eliminated divisiveness, diplomacy. Under Marco Rubio, America must return to the basic of diplomacy by eliminating our focus on political and cultural causes at home and deeply unpopular abroad, as Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced. This will allow us to conduct a pragmatic foreign policy in cooperation with other nations to advance America's core national interest. Under Biden administration, the State Department needless antagonize foreign people and government by lecturing them about our wars, conditioning aid upon mandatory racial diversity, LGBT priorities, and even abortion policies that are even controversial in our country, United States of America. This will stop and needs to stop because they do not represent what America stands for. Again, in June 2022, the United States Embassy in Kuwait caused a diplomatic incident with a conservative Muslim country by tweeting about Pride Month. It was offensive. Such moral posture only anger other nation, reinforcing the stereotype of Americans as arrogant and out of touch, and does nothing to advance our national interests as it was done under Biden administration, and that will be eliminated. This is why elections have consequences. This is why we have power to elect representatives that later on might be elected, might be confirmed for different positions in the government to represent us. Number four, stop censorship. Rubio is very concerned and wanted to stop censorship and suppression of information. The State Department I led, he said, will support and defend Americans' right to free speech, terminated any programs that in any way lead to censorship of American people. This is very, very important. Apparently, the State Department had joined other offices in the Biden administration to censor Americans who express a different point of view. That were maybe against the Biden administration or religious views. Rubio intends to put a stop to this. The State Department's effort to combine malign propaganda have expanded a fundamentally changed since the Cold War era, and we must reprioritize truth, he said. Number five, end climate policies. Rubio concluded that we must leverage our strength and do away with climate policy that weaken America. And indeed, that is one of the priorities of President Trump. While we will not ignore, he said, threats to our natural environment and will support sensitive environment protection, the State Department will use diplomacy to help President Trump fulfill his promise for a return to American energy dominance. International climate agreements like Paris Accord, which Trump already withdrew from, often disadvantage American energy production relative to other countries, requiring America to cut carbon dioxide emissions, while the world's biggest carbon emitter, China, is approving 2 new coal plants per week. Rubio's State Department intend to focus on negotiations that enhance America's energy production. We are so happy to hear that. 6, review all foreign aid funding. This is very important because the State Department under Rubio, and he instructed freezing all new awards until future notice and pose the procedure of new funding request while the department conducts a 30-day reviews. With that time, he requires every office and bureau within the State Department to compile a list of all active, pending, and proposed grants, subcontractors, contractors, and provide a clear and concise statement explaining if and how the current and proposed use of obligated fund advance President Trump's policy and America's policy. Rubio also assigned the State Department Office of Policy Planning to develop standards to ensure that all State Department and U.S. aid, non-securing foreign policy assistance is aligned with the interests of America. Why? Because the Biden administration, under Biden administration, State Department awards lucrative grant for drug show, LBJ activist, pro-transgender, English curriculum in Pakistan, and unfortunately, it's difficult to know how the Department of State under Biden administration function because it lacks a central database where all State Department grants can be viewed. And the State Department has long resisted this measure of transparency. As part of this 30 days foreign aid review, Rubio ordered the creation of a database that will combine all State Department grants in one place. So you and I, every agency can look and see what is going on and who received those grants based on what and how they use it. That is part of the new leadership in America, new leaders who want to protect you, who will desire to the best for America and the best for you and me. So this is again why it's important that when you vote for people that will implement, that will have America first on focus. The common theme running through the changes that the Secretary of State Rubio will bring to the State Department is America's national interest. President Trump has given him a clear direction to place our core national interest as the guiding mission of American foreign policy. Every dollar we spent, every program we found, we will found, we or create, and every policy we pursue must be justified with the answer of three questions. Does it make America safe? Does it make America strong? And third, does it make America more prosperous? That is so important. And if you see that in every agency, in every single leader that you vote for, even your congressman or senator, those three things, does it make America safe? Does it make America strong? Does it make America more prosperous? Is not, the answer is not yes, stand up and make them responsible, tell them how and why those things need to be changed. When they do it good and right, have the courage to stand up and congratulate them because they need our support too, not only when we vote, but also when they do well. For too long, the United States of America has slunk along as an appendage of globalizing progressivism. It's time to stop. And President Trump and United States Department of State's Rubio's leadership, our government diplomatic department, we hope will finally learn to put America first. You have a role in this too. Not only the leaders, not only President Trump or Marco Rubio or your congressman or senator, but you have a role too. First of all, learn about those things. See and notice those changes. Appreciate the courage of these people that want to make amazing changes and change all the destructions that the former administration, Biden administration, focus. Now, they were not only mismanaging, they were mismanaging the government on purpose to make America on the knees poor, to make you submit to them and depend on them. President Trump and Marco Rubio and all this cabinet and everyone that we vote for promise, and they have on focus America's interests first, and you have a role in this. Do not be complacent think or say, oh, America is safe now, they have to do their job. You have a job too. You have a job to watch what they are doing, to congratulate them when they are doing good, and to stand up and say, no, this needs to stop. Make America first, make America strong, make America safe, and make America prosperous. That's what we voted for. Your voice is important, and your participation is precious. I hope that you will take all these notes, everything that I share with you. You will share with others. You will take action. If it's congratulate or criticize them, help them, bring a solution, and stand up for the safety, for America to be strong, and for America to be prosperous. You have a role. Your voice is important. Stand up and make America safe, prosperous, and strong again. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe. If you never subscribe for free to our podcast, you'll receive notice every time we post another podcast. And also make sure that you go on virginiaprodanbooks.com/comment, and if you need any help, we are more than happy to help you. If you want to learn more about my journey, about what's horrible socialist and why we have to fight for freedom, go and buy Saving My Assassin, my memoir. You can go at virginiaprodanbooks.com. Until next time, we are glad to have you here. We are glad to train you, to equip you to live a life of significance and success. Your life is important to me, to us, to America, to the whole world. You have no idea how important you are until you act and you reach others for America and for God's glory. May God bless you. Until next time, bye bye.